Happy holidays, my badass boys and badass babes. It is your keeper of the holiday spirit herself, Virgo the Vixen. And as always, hit your likes and subscribe buttons wherever they're at. Today, we are going to be answering the question of what happens when a middle-aged old man tries to relive his glory days as a kid. And that's what we're going to be discussing today, because today's movie, as you've seen in the title, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, okay? This movie came out in 1989, all right? And I gotta tell you, it is a gem of comedy masterpiece, especially at that time. Starring, of course, Chevy Chase, the beautiful and amazing Beverly D'Angelo, and my God, I would kill just to have a body half as good looking as hers. Randy Quaid, who plays the eccentric cousin, and of course, at that time, less than well-known actress by the name of Julia Dreyfus, who eventually went on to star in the TV sitcom Seinfeld. So we have these major players in this great, amazing movie. Okay, Chevy Chase's character, let me set the scene in the context. His name is Clark W. Griswold Jr. He's an executive at a food company. He works in food and, research and development. Has a smoking hot wife who's Beverly D'Angelo's character, which begs the question, I think the logical question, because if you've ever seen any of the National Lampoon movies, European Vacation, Summer Vacation, Christmas Vacation, Vegas Vacation, if you have seen any of these movies, you have to ask the logical question of, what the hell does he has done to keep an attractive goddess like Beverly D'Angelo's character? I mean, she is hot, she is smart, and what is she doing with a loser like Clark here? I mean, seriously. I mean, he must be a caring and loving father, obviously. He must treat her like she's a goddess. That or he has a big dingus. I don't know, but there's something. I mean, this guy is crazy. And I'm not talking about, crazy. I'm talking about, Your Honor, my client here is mentally deficiently crazy by the standards of the law crazy, okay? But let's get back to the movie. Okay, so the movie starts out with, and I love this part, they're going to get the perfect family Christmas tree, all right? And this is where things just start to spiral out of control. Now, for the rest of us normal people, we don't do these things. We go to a Christmas tree lot where we haggle with some half-drunken guy or half-stoned guy, depending on which lot you go to, and try to negotiate a fair price, for a tree that is halfway dead and will be dead a day after Christmas, okay? Not joking. You don't believe me? Go ahead and try haggling for a tree. Let's see how far you get. Anyway, so the adventure begins there when Clark forgets to bring a saw and they have to uproot the damn tree. Now let's go back to the premise, because here he is with a station wagon. Again, station wagon, I've mentioned these before. Predecessors to the SUV. Giant boat, you could fit 9 to 10 people in there. Trust me, you could. And he took the tree home. But like I said, he's trying to relive his Christmas glory days where his family got together, had this big celebration where they would drink and have fun. Unlike today, do families drink? Yes. Do they have fun? Of course. You can't do both. You have to pick a lane here, because if you try to do both, you're going to get up to the results of my family, where basically you're just arranging the police to stop by your house at a certain time. All right, so here he is. He is trying to prepare for the perfect family Christmas. He gets the quote-unquote perfect tree, which he has to, number one, uproot. Number two, he has to trim it. And there is a lot of trimming which plays into it. Then he starts inviting his family. Now, there's nothing wrong with inviting family over to your house for a holiday season, all right? There's nothing wrong with them having to stay at your house, okay? I'm just going to say it like this. There's a reason hotels are invented. There's a reason why hotels and motels exist. And if you go to one of these family functions, I highly recommend getting a room at a hotel or motel, so this way you do not have to be part of the the family spirit that goes on there. All right, here's what happens. He invites his parents and he invites her parents. All right, do you see where this is going? This is basically before Jerry Springer got involved in the 90s. Okay, because if we had Jerry Springer back then, I think this would be the perfect episode. So he brings both sets of parents, his and hers, to sleep in this under the same roof. And he thinks this is the perfect idea. I don't care how much drugs you have taken. I don't care how much alcohol you have. This idea does not sound good when you are drunk or stoned. So how does a so-called sober man think that this is a good idea? If you know, put it in the comments below, because I would like to know myself. Anyway, so he is gathering the family together. He is getting this and this. He's having issues at work, which we'll play later on in the movie. And then comes the cousin, Randy Quaid. All families have an eccentric cousin like his. And if you don't have one, there's a good chance you can't point it out, then you pretty much are that cousin, okay? Let's just be realistic. Comes in, wasn't invited, just makes himself at home. And this guy is just, what can I say, is just pure comedy gold. The perfect foil to Clark. Clark is organized. He has his life together. He has things organized. He knows what he wants to do. Randy Quaid, he is just flying by the seat of his pants. If whatever comes to him, he don't care. All right, now there's a little bit of possible adultery in the movie. I'll let you watch that to determine. But Clark meets a kind of, while shopping, meets a sales lady, kind of is flirting with her, and later on has a scene, which I'll talk about in just a moment, where he had a kind of an erotic vision of her. But anyways, so Clark has him, has in-laws, and as you can imagine, these are spiraling more and more out of control. Okay, but there is a lot of funniness, especially with the cousin. He takes care of the noise. Can I say this politely? They're not noisy, but they're more nosy than anything else. He kind of deters them from interfering in most of the movie. Anyways, here comes the big night. Now, to set the scene, the turkey didn't go as planned. Yeah, the in-laws. You have his aunt and uncle there. So to set the scene, mother-in-law, father-in-law, his mother, his parents, the cousins, her cousins, not his for the record, are there with two of their kids. They actually have more, but that's later on. So they have them, the crazy cousin, his wife, their two kids are there. Then you have, Rusty, and I can't remember what the girl's name is. But you have those two there. And guess what? Tensions have been building up in the house. Go figure. In-laws are there, making their life more miserable. Grandma and grandpa are, making the kids. So we have that tension going on. Then he brings his aunt and uncle, who are delusional. Okay, they have Alzheimer's. They're dimensional. They're not there. Okay, what happens? And I'll give you an example. And you don't believe this? Watch the movie where the aunt wraps up her cat and places it as a gift. I'm not kidding you. That is hilarious because this cat just steals the show. There is a point in the movie, and I won't spoil it, but it does steal the show. And you cannot make it up, but I won't want to ruin it. But let's just say the cat has its moment, literally, and that's it. But in all this menagerie, all this chaos of all living, and he's happy where he gets the family around the turkey, and then the turkey wasn't properly cooked, and it wasn't put in early, and they put the turkey in too early, and you see the result of that. And I just love it because also, did I forget to mention the cousin has a dog, and this dog is just something else. I forgot to mention that little detail. So you have all this menagerie. And then it comes to a perfect crescendo of just, how can I say this, just utter chaos and magnificent. It just, like someone pulls a needle off a record, and like, there's this moment where the chaos stops, and it feels like, this is going to be fine. I'm going to be okay. Everything's fine. Because during the movie, he's been waiting on his Christmas bonus to show up. And when he gets his Christmas bonus, it is one of the best freak out scenes that has ever taken place in a movie. And I'm going to put that link in the description below. So, When he gets his so-called bonus, he freaks out, and this is where the, how can we say, the defense version of insane will be applied. All right, during this time, all right, his tree gets destroyed. He cuts the neighbor's tree down, all right? It basically causes a rift between him and his neighbors, if there wasn't already some. All right, he freaks out on the family. He redecorates the tree. A squirrel gets involved. Again, squirrel has this moment, and this is where things go off. Okay, during his freak out, he wanted his boss brought to his house. So what does his cousin do? His cousin commits a felony and ties up his boss with a big red ribbon, I'm going to spoiler it on this one, and brings him to the house, all right? So, and why do you do this? Because Clark wanted a last-minute Christmas gift. Go figure. And he toils off his boss, and I love it because we all want to do this to our bosses at some point. Your boss has screwed you over, and there's a part of you that wants to tie him up and just yell at him. Let's just be realistic, people. We all want to do that to our bosses at some point, one or another. Let's just be real here. So he has that. Here comes the SWAT team because the boss's wife doesn't like her husband being kidnapped, and so she calls the police. Here's the SWAT team. So we have all this menagerie, the tree, SWAT team coming in, the family, and it just ends in a chaotic mess. But somehow, some way, this movie illustrates, I think, one point that kind of gets overmissed is that at the end of the day, you can blow up a tree, you can ruin a turkey, you can have your house raided by the police. But family is still family, and in the spirit of Christmas, you got to learn to forgive one another and move on. And I'm just kidding. This movie proves a point that you should never get your family together for a large Christmas dinner, and especially keep them in the house. So, anyways, let's review 5 stars. Great movie. I love this. So, otherwise, besides the 5-star review, number 1, what the hell has Clark got over Beverly D'Angelo? I mean, her character, she's a goddess, she's smart, she's sophisticated. What does he have over her to keep her being married? If you know the answer, let me know. Number 2, don't bring your families for like a big holiday dinner and then have them stay at your house. There's a reason why motels and hotels exist. I'm just saying, shove them out to them, have them to dinner, kick them out, send them back to their prospective hotel or motel. And finally, I think this one gets overmissed a lot. Chicago SWAT team in this movie actually looks like they know what they're doing. I won't mention any more, but hey, looks like this SWAT team is actually, they do a good job. So go figure. Well, anyways, my badass boys and badass babes, next week is the 3rd and final movie. I'm going to give you a hint of what it is, okay? And this is the hint. Be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. All right, that is the clue. I am going to give you for the 3rd movie. And as always, okay, first of all, season's greetings. Happy holidays. Who's your vixen in? Bye-bye.